I'd like to make an announcement before we get started. Could everybody please put your cell phones on silence? Thank you.
So the bugler just got here. She's just parking. She just found parking. She's on her way. The bugler, the person's there.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Pacific Battleship Center, the 3rd and 4th crews of Battleship Iowa, and myself, I'd like to welcome you to our ceremony today. My name is Martin Anthony Palmier. I'm a retired Chief Electrician's Mate, Surface Warfare. This was my home from 1983 to 1989. Please rise for a presentation of colors and the singing of our national anthem and our invocation. Where's the colors? They're good.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lonnie Cook. Our chaplain for today is Dove Cohen. He's representing Father James Danner.
The colors are coming up here.
I know they are. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by for the presentation of the colors. Where? Who's to do Pledge of Allegiance? Okay. Present. Arms. We'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Post colors. Representing Father James Daniel today is Chaplain Dove Cohen. Chaplain.
Chaplain Danner served as your chaplain aboard this ship, and I am proud to present him today. Almighty Creator, we come to you with the deepest gratitude in our hearts for all the gifts you give us each day. Family, loved ones, good friends, laughter, and our great work in the service of our country. Help us always to receive these gifts with thanksgiving and gratitude. Today, as we gather aboard our USS Battleship Iowa to remember and memorialize those 47 who died on that infamous day, April 19th, 1989, we welcome our friends from all branches of service, and we give recognition to the spirit that made our country great, a willingness to give totally of ourselves for the freedom of all peoples. For my part, for the great blessing of being a chaplain in the service of these United States, we give you thanks. For all the women and men of every race and creed who were and are willing to sacrifice to see a dream of equality and freedom come to fruition, and for the legacy of peace and wisdom they have each left us, may we each be worthy in our own lives of those noble legacies. Your strength enables us to protect others. Your providence keeps us safe. Help us turn our hearts toward you each and every day, and to always demonstrate that brotherhood and love of our fellow men and women is alive and well here with our brothers and sisters aboard the USS Battleship Iowa and around the world where we serve our country. I ask that you join me as we say together, Amen.
I'd like to take this time to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Jonathan Williams, President and CEO of Pacific Battleship Center and the National Museum of the Service Navy. Jonathan.
Go ahead and grab your seats. Good morning. Welcome aboard the Battleship Iowa. I'd like to give a special welcome to the families and the sailors that served aboard the USS Iowa. Welcome back and welcome aboard. April 19th, 1989, a horrible turret explosion occurred aboard this ship. It affected the lives of thousands of sailors and hundreds of thousands of families and friends across our nation. And today, 34 years later, it continues to affect those lives. I was honored to be invited to speak. I usually stay in the background when it comes to this event. After 23 years, they invited me to speak this year, and the first thing I did was called Chief Canfield and said, "Are you sure? Are you sure that I should speak at this?" Because I always made sure that I stayed in the background, because it is about the families and those that served here today. He reassured me that it was okay, because really at the end of the day, who we are and where we've gone and what we do here aboard the ship started with the memory of the Iowa 47. What we do every day in helping hundreds, if not thousands, of veterans out of our Veterans Department started in their memory, started out of the help and the sharing of stories and the mutual respect that veterans have for veterans here aboard this ship. It's created lifelong memories for hundreds of thousands of children. They see Turret 2 every day when they visit the ship, and millions of visitors throughout the world. Their lives and the memory of their lives has gone on to impact generations of the future, and that's what we do here aboard this ship. We make sure that their sacrifice is remembered throughout history and does not become a distant memory of the past. I've had a chance to send out a few notes this week to really focus on that because I think everybody here is a love ship, and really that's what going to a national level museum is for us, is to make sure that the memory and the service of those sailors and the service of this ship is not forgotten, and that we receive enough support to maintain that in the future. Specifically to the family and the shipmates of the Iowa 47, have confidence that we will never forget and we will always remember. We will continue to strive to be the best and the most innovative in the museum fleet. Today will be challenging and emotional, but you have people that are here to support you right here, surround you with love and caring, and be here to share your stories and help you out. Everybody here is here to support each other, but for those, the family member and those that served that day, please feel free to reach out to each other and share those stories or reach out to our veterans team. Every day when I look in the mirror, and I've done this for 23 years now, I ask myself, am I living the best life I can in their memory? I challenge you to do the same. Are we each doing the best life that we possibly can in the memory of those that paid the ultimate sacrifice here? We've been blessed. We've been blessed aboard this ship with their memory and their soul. I have no doubt that they are here every day. It's really been the magic of what we do. You know, it's interesting because yesterday I was in Des Moines, Iowa, as I've been every 2 weeks for about 2 months. And as I flew back across the country, I boarded a plane out of Denver to LAX here. And coming aboard that plane was a sergeant, a soldier, dressed in full dress, and a coffin of a service member was loaded onto our plane. And I thought for 2 hours, as we flew from Denver, I thought about the service of that young man, and I thought about the service of the Iowa 47, and I thought about the service of every veteran we had. And when we got to LAX, I wondered if everybody would stay seated on the plane and really follow that. And everybody stayed seated and stayed quiet. And once getting off the plane, everybody stopped at the windows and paid their respects. And it was an incredible feeling to know that Americans today, yet the busy life we have, will never forget those that pay the ultimate sacrifice or those that served our nation. And I want everybody here to know that we will never forget it here aboard the ship. We're here. We care about each of you. Your family's here. And I wish you the best and can encourage you to live the best life you can in the memory of the 47. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. We will now read the names and ring the bell in honor of our fallen shipmates. I'm going to let you go first. Ladies first.
Philip Edward Buck. Robert Kenneth Morrison.
David L. Hansen. Dwayne Collier Battle. Todd Christopher McMullen. John Rodney Young. Todd Edward Miller. Jose Luis Martinez, Jr.
Robert Wallace Backharms, Milton Francis Duvall Jr., Jeffrey Scott Shalin, Leslie Allen Everhart Jr., Michael Shannon Justice, Ernest Edward Henez, Clayton Michael Hartwig,
Tyrone Dwayne Foley, Robert James Gedeon III, Brian Wayne Gedron, John Leonard Goins, Michael William Helton, Scott Allen Holt, Rodney Maurice White,
Jack Ernest Thompson, Stephen J. Weldon, Richard Eric Lawrence, Richard John Lewis, Reginald L. Johnson, Jr., James Darrell White, Harold Earl Romine, Jr.,
Nathaniel Clifford Jones, Jr., Tung Tan Adams, Peter Edward Bopp, Ramon Jarrell Bradshaw, Todd Thomas Tatham, Brian Robert Jones,
Darren Andrew Ogden, Ricky Ronald Peterson, Matthew Ray Price, Heath Eugene Stillwagon, Reginald Owen Ziegler, Otis Levance Moses,
Michael Robert Williams, Eric Ellis Casey, John Peter Kramer, Gary John Fisk, Edward J. Kimball, Walter Scott Blakey.
We will now have a rendition of Taps. rendered by Julie Levine. Can we retire the colors, please? Retire the colors. What the hell are we doing? I knew this was going to happen. I'll talk to you later. Just keep going. Just keep going. We'll now have an open mic, folks. Anybody would like to say a few words is welcome to come up to the mic. Lonnie, you guys have anything to say? Oh. Mrs. Buck, there you go. Is that good enough for you?
Yes.
Okay.
I am Emily Buck. I'm Lieutenant J. Jeeb's mother, Philip Buck. And when the ship came into Norfolk and the families were allowed on board, we were given a little bulletin on the ship. And when I got home, I was reading through the bulletin. There was a poem by Jeffrey Bellows dedicated to the memory of Turret 2. So I wanted to put that on a card, thank you card, for people that were donating Phil. And I had a scholarship fund raised because he went to local high school, Mayfield High School in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And we give a scholarship every year to one of the cadets. And so here's the poem, Far From Home. Lord, have mercy on our comrades who'll be knocking at your door. They fell. Gee, when you get old, it's bad. Getting old is not for wimps. Okay, here we go. Lord, have mercy on our comrades who'll be knocking at your door. They fell forever today, so look after them forevermore. They were just men with dreams all their own, doing the work of their country, far from their home. Lord, please bless these souls, for it was not their choice, you see. Each had a job to do, but not one to take them to eternity. We are all simple men with dreams all our own, doing the work of our country, far away from home. Then I received this Native American prayer from a lady who serviced the treat machines here on the Iowa, and her son had been killed. He was Air Force in Gander, I think it was, plane coming back from Europe, crashed at Gander Air Force Base in Greenland. And anyway, she sent me this, and I read it last year, and one of the sailors that was on the ship emailed me and said, there's more to this if you want to use it. So, I give you one thought to keep. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am diamond glints on the snow. I am sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn's rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the star that shines at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn. So when tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart, for every time you think of me, I'm right there in your heart. So Phil was, he had a Navy scholarship to Purdue University, and he grew up actually various states that we lived in. His father was tech rep for Hughes Aircraft, so we lived up there in the hill on Saddle Road, off Saddle Road, and Rocking Horse Road, and the street we were on was Saddle. Anyway, then we moved to Barstow, California, where he became a swimmer, and he was good. And he was one of those that reminds me of Trump, always has to be first. I don't know if he did that on the ship or not, but he would hit the wall and look around to see if he was first. If he wasn't, he'd have this sad face, and I'd say, Phil, you're second. He goes, I don't want second, I want first. So when he was in high school, he went to Mayfield. He was supposed to go to Las Cruces High School, but he went to Mayfield because they had ROTC. At the time, it was Air Force. Coming across country from New Jersey, we stopped in Colorado Springs, and we went to the Air Force Academy, and they had a film of what the cadets there go through. Coming out, he said, I want to go here. So anyway, he wasn't chosen to go to the academy, but he did get a Navy scholarship to Purdue, so he was going Navy, and that was okay with him because he had a stigma on his eye and he wanted to be a pilot. He had a private pilot's license, and he said, the Navy will upgrade me to pilot after I've been a navigator for several years, so at that time. Anyway, he went surface on the ship, so he was really patriotic.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
The fireboat display is from LA Fireboat 2. Generally, we wait for that, but there's a tanker right in the middle of the channel right now, so they had to go ahead and go before the tanker gets here.
I was wondering what the hell they were blowing her over. And then you said the tank, like, oh. Huh? Yeah, sure.
You want to wait till the fireboat's done? That way people can watch the fireboat. I want people to know that, this is the reason I'm on the ship. Maybe they should talk if you want. Yeah.
Damn, I'm getting sprayed.
Ocean spray. Do I give this back to you?
Yes, thank you. I was going to ask you guys for that. Well, the only thing I screwed up was the color guard. He's not here. If he would have did his job, he put the feelers out for 3. One came back right away, the Air Force. I said, okay. Marine Corps and the Navy didn't come back until
You can keep the mic open.
John, that was a good speech. Yeah, this wasn't supposed to be this fast. Yeah, you gotta restrict the maneuvering situation. No, that's it. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. Staff. Go ahead and do it. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My name is Larry. I served on the Missouri. I'm currently the vice president of Missouri Association. I couldn't have been on my battleship if it wasn't for this ship. I met this ship in Pascagoula, Mississippi in '83. I was on the shore when she came in, before she was recommissioning. And I found out that this ship was going to be back here, and I said, I got to be a part of this. So I've been here a little over 10 years here, and it's an honor to be a volunteer on this ship. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'd like to say something.
Lonnie? All right, brother.
No, we're good. I'm just going to get it closer to me. My name is Lonnie Cook, Gunner's Mate Guns, SW, served on the Iowa from May 10th of '86 to September 28th of 1989. I just got a couple questions. Raise your hand if you've ever heard the term elementary, my dear Watson. What's it from? Well, they say it might be from Sherlock Holmes, but never once was that said in an episode or a movie of Sherlock Holmes. How about beam me up, Scotty? Right, Star Trek? Nope. Never once said in an episode of Star Trek or any of the movies. Now, they might have had some type of version, but beam me up, Scotty was never said. How about play it again, Sam? Yeah, nope. Not Casablanca, it was never said. Now, I want to talk about another thing that was never said. Raise your hand if you've heard someone tell you, a well-meaning, good person, when you're going maybe through a hard time, a trial, something going on hard in your life, a good, well-meaning person told you, don't worry, brother or sister, God will never give you more than you can handle. Anyone ever heard that? Yeah, that's also, if I were to hold up my Bible, that's not in there. There's a verse that kind of sounds like that, but it has something to do with temptation, that, you know, in our temptation, God will make a way out. Not going to let us go through more temptation than what we're able to bear. But it had nothing to do with going through a hard time. And I want to talk about why that's wrong. Why it's wrong for someone to say God's not going to give you more than you can handle. One, it's not in the Bible. Two, what if the person that you're telling that to is struggling? What if the person, don't worry, brother, God won't give you more than you can handle, and you're like, I'm not handling it very well, so it must be something wrong with me. So I must be weak. Must be something wrong with me. It's someone's grief. And the third thing that's wrong is, you know, it's not popular, but sometimes God will allow you to go through more than you're able to handle because you're not supposed to handle it on your own in the first place. If you look around, you got shipmates, you got friends, you got family members. I remember a verse in the Bible that says, in our weakness, his strength is made perfect. I remember a song as a little kid that said, Jesus loves me, this I know. And in that song it says, they are weak, but he is strong. And I just wanted to encourage you that whenever you're going through something that's more than you're able to bear, something that you just can't handle on your own, I know that we have shipmates here that, you know, every April gets a little hard. We got family members, every April gets a little hard. And when it gets hard, don't go through it thinking that you got to handle it on your own. You've got friends, you got brothers and sisters, whether it's where you work, at your church, people you served with, lean on them, and then all else, lean on God. Right? His strength is perfect when ours isn't. That's, I got one more thing to say. It'll be short. And I was telling my friend Scott about this last night. So we got a bunch of veterans or active duty. I work for a hospice, and I was recognizing this old World War II fella for his service. It's called a pinning ceremony. Put a lapel pin on him, give him a certificate. You know, as veterans, active duty people come up, Marty, thank you for your service. Right? Scott, thank you for your service. What do we say? You know, well, thanks for thanking me, or it was my honor. Well, this old fella said something I've been using ever since, and as a veteran to other veterans, I want to encourage you to use this because it puts something on the person telling you. So if someone comes up to me and says, thank you for your service, this old fella's like, you were worth it. I'm like, oh, ooh. I'm like, that was good. That was good. Can I use it? He says, go ahead. And so now every time someone thanks me for my service, I'll tell them, you were worth it. And it puts a perspective on what they said, that there's a cost to what we did. We're here today to recognize 47 people that paid that cost. So when someone says thank you for your service and you say you were worth it, it like, oh, I was worth it. If I'm worth it, then there must have been a cost. So steal it, right? Use it. If someone says ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service, use it.
Good morning. I'm George Evans. I'm a member of the Iowa Volunteer Crew. I've been here about 7 years. I've just got a little anecdote I want to share with you about the impact of these events and how it's such a small world we live in. Several years ago, my family and I were in North Washington State on vacation, and just out of curiosity, we stopped at a Cabela's. I had on my Iowa shirt. We're going through, we're oohing and on ahead and all that. One of the associates comes up to me and says, "You're with the Iowa?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He asked me, "How's turret 2?" I looked at him, I said, "We don't go in turret 2. He nods his head. He says, "I was with the crew that came down from Saipan." Small world, middle of the day, little town in northern Washington, and I run into somebody who's been affected by this. It was a moment. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to close out with benediction. Chaplain, if you'd please. I like that.
Well, I've already stolen it, so let me be the first. As you have come here in peace and brotherhood, with reverence for those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, remember what happened aboard this USS Battleship Iowa on that infamous date, April 19th, 1989. May you travel safely to your homes, and may this day be the commencement of your work to make our world a better and safer place in which to raise our families and build brighter futures. We look forward to great things for our nation. We expect nothing less than the very best as we diligently proceed to utilize our God-given talents. Please shine your bright light upon us as we go out into the world to do our best for our country. Bless our United States Navy, all branches of service, and all humanity. And please bless us here gathered with wisdom and perseverance, good health in all our future assignments. We say together, amen, and God bless the United States of America.
Everybody awake now? Okay, folks, that'll conclude our ceremonies for today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Good job, Marty. Well done.
Hello.